Hello and welcome. Good morning to another stream that I'm going to have to check the audio on before we get started. I've got some fun stuff today because I'm using a device that I've never used on a live stream before. So let's make sure it's actually working here. Let's see. Oh man, it sounds like it's working. Okay, last week people were saying the audio was low. So if anything today, it's going to be a little high. Let me know because yeah, so what I'm doing today, this entire stream, I'm running it through OBS because I'm on my PC. So that's how I can pop up the comments, you know, and do that. And then also OBS was the easiest way just to connect it to YouTube through the PC. But all of the video and all of the audio you're seeing are actually running through, if I can remember which button to push, this actually, the Rodecaster Video Core. Oh wait, and that means, wait a minute. Oh, since I'm using the same device, I can put my chat. I'm not using different inputs, so the chat will overlay on everything today. Hey, that's cool. So anyway, the audio and the video are running through that. I've done, you know, test stuff. I've done videos with it. I have a video coming out tomorrow about it. It's a new thing from Rode. We can talk about it if you want to, but this is the first time I'm streaming with it, which is obviously one of its big intended purposes. So I wanted to test that out and kind of have some fun. And I'll show you how that works and what that does, which is pretty cool. But appreciate everybody being here. We saw Canine Striker. We saw Blue Hawk Media. King stand for 12:36 a.m. Well, happy tomorrow. Paul, what's up, Paul? Thanks for sliding into the DMs on the Maker World app. I had no idea the Bamboo Studio or Bamboo Handy app has DMs, which is just really funny. What's up? Ludwig 970 from the Netherlands. So yeah, today, I mean, we can live stream chat about anything and everything you want to, but I just sort of like centered around the Rodecaster Video Core because that is a thing I've gotten a lot of questions about, and there's some hardcore interest in the core. So yeah, GCube 2112. I saw this before the stream started, but he said make more videos on the Bamboo Lab P2S, which is my 3D printer. I 100% love to make videos on that. If there's anything specific about that printer or whatever that you're curious about or that would be helpful, let me know. I'm definitely not like a 3D printer tutorial person, but I like sharing my experience using these. And so if there's some part of that that's helpful or interesting, I'd be totally down to do that. Quirk Works, hi from Maine, hi. And Muhammad Jawad, hi, how's it going? Mike Morris in LA, you're not too far from me. Wanted to thank you for the great quality content. Very happy with the new Sony a7 IV. Yes, I love my a7 IV too a lot. I have an extra input on the Rodecaster Video Core, an extra HDMI that I figured I'd probably add a camera to maybe throughout the stream. So there we go. Paul didn't know either about the... Yeah, he was sending me some magnet dispensers because if you watch my video about the 3D printed mic arm I made, I'm installing the magnets and it's a little tricky. Turns out you can 3D print it. Joe's in Utah, what's up? And your videos were crucial for finding the Rodecaster Pro 2. Hope you're enjoying it. That thing is awesome. Ryukin, what's up? Hello. Yeah, printing videos, the next one. So I've been playing around with Fusion a little bit. Wait, let me see if I can grab this stuff over here. And I made my first original design, which is actually tied into, I'll talk about this in tomorrow's video. This is a mount for the Rodecaster Video Core. So we can talk about Fusion and stuff. That was my last video, was asking what software to use. I'm diving into Fusion. I still want to dip my toes into plasticity just to kind of see, but so far I've actually been really liking Fusion a lot. And then the next 3D printing related video I'm putting together is actually I have the AMS HT, which is like the single spool AMS. So just kind of what that is and setting it up and stuff. Will I be Blue Hawk Media? Will I be at NAB? Sadly, no. Well, okay. Sadly, no, but not for a sad reason. I was planning to go to NAB and then another event overlaps NAB, which is FanFest. And that is, that's a Final Fantasy 14 fan convention that does not take place every year, and it takes place this year, and it takes place in Anaheim, and Heather and I were actually able to get tickets, and a whole bunch of our friends from all over the country are also coming out for that. So I'm doing that instead of NAB this year. But I really I was planning to go to NAB. I wanted to. I was trying to kind of work like a back-to-back thing, but basically it would have ended up that I was only at NAB for like a day, maybe a day and a half. And last year when I was at NAB, I was there for 3 days, and I was like, that's not enough time. I want to go for at least 4. So going for half the time that wasn't enough time to begin with was just like, man, that's a lot of money to spend on flights and hotel. And well, yeah, I could drive to Vegas, but honestly, like there's a direct flight from our local airport that is 30 minutes instead of the 5-hour drive. So I usually do that because it's nice. Rodecaster Pro 2 coming soon. Nice. I hope you enjoy that. From Australia. It is like the middle of the night over there, is it not? I know. No NAB. I'm sad. But there we go. Let's see. I have a Tail 2 and the fantastic remote. Yes. So I'm actually using the Tail 2 right here to show the Rodecaster. Well, this is the Rodecaster Duo, and then this is the Core. And then I even put one of the pre-programmed things. If I push this, it'll go right into the screen of the Duo, which is actually kind of cool. Basically, I don't know, and I can push the preset to then zoom back out, and I don't have to worry about it. But what's pretty cool about this is what's running. I have all of my audio and video running through here, but it has, other than this knob, which is just for a headphone monitor that's not connected, there's no physical controls on this. So you can control it through the computer. I have some software up here, but you can also connect it to a Rodecaster, the Duo or the Pro 2, and then you can actually bring in, there's a thing called Rodecaster Sync. So I'm actually controlling my audio. The audio that's plugged into here, I'm controlling it through here. You can mix audio from both devices, and you can then also use the smart pads to switch. So that's how I also have, I have a USB webcam connected to it. This is the Tiny 3, which does work, and that's pretty cool. And then I've got my camera here. So I'm using my Rodecaster to switch my video inputs today, which is pretty crazy. And I've got the Tail 2. So that's really fun. Paul's going to be at NAB. Yeah, Paul's very, very fun. So hang out with Paul at NAB. I have not gotten enough time with Paul at NAB, I feel like. Yeah, it's just like NAB is the kind of the best place. But yeah, so let's talk about the Rodecaster Video Core, because that's the thing. I mean, hopefully what you're seeing looks and sounds good. Let me look at my thing here and make sure that it's, sound is great. Okay, it looks good. Okay, so the Core, this is a 1080 stream, not my normal 4K stream today, because it is a 1080 switcher. We talked last week a lot about the price, which is still, and I talk about that in my video that's coming out tomorrow. Originally, this was supposed to be a very affordable device, and then because the price of everything increased, it bumped up to a much more expensive device. It is now $600. I don't know what the original price was supposed to be, but I think it was somewhere closer to $350. And then you basically take this, you can use it as a solo capture card to do whatever you want, because it has all the inputs on the back of the Rodecaster Video S, like the exact same ones. You have 3 HDMIs, you can do NDI, you have 2 XLRs. The internals, it has the same audio processing as the Rodecaster Duo and the Rodecaster Pro 2. So that's why right now I wanted to make sure to use the SM7B, because this is such a gain-hungry microphone that it's always kind of it's the test microphone that I use on interfaces and stuff, because if they can run this and power this, and I have plenty of headroom, I'm only using 56 out of the available 76 decibels of gain, and I think that this sounds great. I'm just using actually the default SM7B preset, because the Core has all the same presets, which I can show you how that all works there. So you can just use this as a standalone capture card, controlling it through your computer. You can also control it with a Stream Deck, which I don't have set up here, or you can connect it through USB to a Rodecaster and then do Rodecaster Sync, which it was working, and now it's not. The Sync is still technically in beta, so it's working. And I don't know if what you can see on here, there's sort of some of these channels have these little green things. The green channels are inputs from the Rodecaster Video Core, and then like this channel here does not have that. That's one that's just on the Rodecaster. So if I had a mic connected to the Rodecaster Duo, I could actually mix in that mic's audio with this. So in a way, you're also kind of then adding XLR inputs to your existing Rodecaster if you need to, which is very, very cool. And then obviously you can control with the smart pads here. And you can edit this. I just have them set to basic switching for the most part right now. But you can you can change which inputs, what scenes, what functions the smart pads have in terms of, you know, what they mess with there. And then if I move I'm going to do a very advanced screen recording. I know I could screen share, but instead I'm just going to do this. You have the Rodecaster app, which is really kind of how you control everything. So I have my audio mixer here, which I don't really need because I have the Rodecaster for today, and I only have one audio input anyway, so it's very simple. But you can bring up your scene builder. Wow, look at that. And then virtually, I can switch things here. So I can use this to switch. And then I can also build up scenes and switch between my graphics. Basically everything that the Rodecaster videos have been able to do in the past, you can do here. It has all the other same settings that the Rodecaster videos have. You know, you have auto switching, you have all the, you know, you can stream directly from the device, which I just don't do because I find it a little complicated. But anyway, it seems to be working pretty awesome so far. And I'll show this to you in a second too, which is, I'm super proud of it. I know it's like simple, but I'm really proud of it. Where's the YoloCam S7? I should actually have that set up somewhere because that can run into the Rodecaster Video Core either through USB or HDMI. So 2 ways. Just here for the dad jokes. Have my credit card handy. No, you don't need to buy anything. I just like to share some of this stuff. Rukin's gonna do some Minecraft stuff. Is that gonna be a stream situation? That would be extremely cool. JFK, what's up? Can you point which one's the YoloCam S7? I don't have it currently set up, but I could set it up. The only thing is I would need to grab a USB power supply for that, which is not a problem. So we can just switch to, this is the OBSBot Tiny 3. I'm gonna go grab power supply. Oi, now I'm getting a phone call. No, thank you. No, thank you. All right, so one thing with the YoloCam S7, which is a micro 4/3 webcam, it is super cool. It has to be powered through USB, so even if you're running it via HDMI, you still need to have the USB power connected for it to work at all. So I have a little 65-watt power adapter here. Hopefully I can fit that in my power strip over here. All right, that seemed pretty good. What should I mount this on? I need some sort of tripod of some kind. Let's see. Boop. Oh, here. This will work. All right. See, we've got all the tools. Put it on this little like tabletop thing for now. We can move it around. I don't remember what image settings I have this on, so it might look a little weird at first till I adjust it, but that's okay. All right, let's run the power. So here I just need to, let's pop here. There we go. So I just need to do USB power, which is nice. The thing I like about this a lot is that it has a locking USB, so I can connect this here. Be very helpful in my little chaotic setup today. And then I can turn this, and that way it will lock the connector in. And that's the cable that comes with the S7. And then I just need HDMI, which I already have. So, let's see. Boom. All right. I don't know where to put this guy. I don't know where this is going to go. We'll just set it here for now. That is not a convenient spot. All right. And let's see. It says that it's there. How's it looking? Oh my gosh, look at my ear. It looks fantastic. Yeah, so here is the S7. I have, the lens is a little too close for this situation. Hey, that's not bad. The lighting's a little off because I was not intending to be here, but there we go. This is the Lumix 20, I think it's the 25 millimeter. I have to get all close. It's a 25 millimeter lens. This is the first micro four thirds sensor camera I've ever used. I'm curious if my sync, if it's still in sync. Let's see. Oh, it is. Okay. So between USB, HDMI, and all the different HDMI types of cameras I'm using, the Rodecaster Video Core is keeping everything in sync. That's cool. It's good to know. Yeah, this camera's sweet. I wish I had a better place to position it where it wasn't, maybe over here actually. Let's see. I'm gonna unplug the HDMI for a second, just for safety. And then let's pop this. Let's not knock over my drink cup. That would be bad. Here we go. Just smush some stuff away over there. All right. Very elegant. What do they call it? Like demure. There we go. Oh man, I crooked my prompter around. I should have thought to have the S7 set up before. Where is it? Boom. Oh, hi. Buddy. There we go. Wow. I'm having a hard time framing this. See, this is the benefit of PTZ cameras there. Okay, there we go. This is a little bit better on the S7. So this is actually kind of interesting. Let's see here. Okay. On the, if we can show you this here. So this in the prompter is my main camera. This is the Canon EOS R, which is a full frame camera with a 35 millimeter lens. So 35 millimeters on full frame. Then the YOLO cam, which I put over there, is a micro four thirds camera with a 25 millimeter lens. So it has a wider lens. Here is 35 millimeters on full frame, and here is 25 millimeters further back on micro four thirds. So you can see the smaller sensor, you crop in. That's that crop factor that happens that's why full frame is because 35 millimeters equals 35 millimeters. Whereas here, the 25 millimeters is really kind of more equivalent of I don't know, looking like a 50 millimeter. This is looking pretty decent though. I didn't change any of the color settings or anything. The cool thing about this camera is it has such good fast autofocus. It's insane. It uses a different type of autofocus system than typical cameras, and it's awesome. So anyway, there we just randomly set up a camera, but I'm glad that you asked about that because it was a good chance to add. Now we have the Rodecaster Video Core running all of its inputs. I have 3 HDMI inputs, a USB input. I'm running HDMI out to get it into my PC's capture card. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, let's see. So your Duo now has extra channels. Do they stay if the core is disconnected? The core has to be connected to the Duo to use the channels on the core, I guess, if that makes sense. Through Rodecaster Sync, which is actually a very cool thing. We want to see it with the Rodecaster Video Core. Well, I did it. There we go. Bam. See, you ask, I deliver. And I'm happy to change, that was a reason I had an HDMI cable that wasn't connected to anything, because I kind of figured there might be questions. So I'm happy to tinker and set up and arrange and demo as much as we could. Do the Rodecaster devices have a call feature to easily bring in remote guests? They do for audio, but not for video. So for audio, they have a super easy way to do it, but not for video yet. Gil, what's up, Gil? Which lens are you using on the S7? Yeah, I think we talked about that. No filter on it. Hashtag no filter. Sorry. It's the Lumix 25 mil, but you can use any micro four thirds lens on it. And I think YOLO is in the process of developing their own lens for it. They really like to make their own stuff. So I think they didn't like having recommending the Lumix lens. You use any micro four thirds one, but this was kind of the one they recommended. Although I would say, this is fine, and the camera's not too far away from me, but I guess this is pretty okay. I would prefer a wider lens, but I do like that this is still, I don't know what this is, an F. What is it? It's a fairly wide aperture lens, but again, on a smaller sensor. But I do think it looks pretty darn good. And I'm like really actually very happy with how it's looking right now. So that's cool. Let me see how it looked on the stream. That's, yeah, it's a, I mean, it's a cool, like, the other thing is, where is this camera? This is a camera I've had for oh my God, 7 or 8 months now that they sent out, and I actually didn't like it and wanted to send it back, but they never sent me a shipping label. The Hollyland Venus Live Air. And so actually yesterday I was like, you know, now that I have a PC, I had issues setting this camera up prior, and that's why I was just like, I got so frustrated with it. And so I set this up yesterday, and the PC made it easier to kind of deal with some bugs I was having. So I fixed that. It's working fine now. And I was like, oh, this is actually really cool, because the design of this camera, this box camera, it's kind of like the S7, but different. So high quality webcam. The difference being that this has stuff on it. It doesn't have a battery. It has to be plugged in, but you have actually a flip out screen. It doesn't rotate. It just flips out. You have lots of connections on this, though. You have power and Ethernet and HDMI and USB out and 3.5 millimeter in. And what's also very cool is you have a USB mic jack. So especially Hollyland makes a bunch of USB mics. You just pop one of their receivers on there and you're good, or another USB mic. So it's actually very, very cool. The thing is, so the differing philosophy is the S7 has no physical controls. It's kind of like the Rodecaster Video Core. It delivers a lot of functionality, but you got to control it with something else. This is, you know, wanted to be a high-end webcam that then it doesn't have physical camera controls, although it does, I should say, it does have a record button, and it does have an SD card slot, so you can record internally. You have to use the screen to change all the camera controls, but you can adjust settings in here without having to connect it to anything else. But it has no interchangeable lens. And I forget what the sensor is on this, but it is, I mean, I can plug it into in a second if we want, but it looks like a big camera, but it basically still just has a webcam sensor. And so what kind of sucks is the reason I was getting interested in it is this camera, the S7. I love it because it's a 4K webcam, and this camera at my desk is a really good camera, the Canon EOS R full frame, but it's only a 1080 camera for video for the most part. So I really wanted, I was like, man, the S7 was going to be a perfect desk camera for 4K, except since I use the Elgato prompter, I talked about this in my video, the S7. The one complaint I have is it just doesn't fit in the Elgato prompter. There's no way to make it fit and have the autofocus still work because it uses this unusual autofocus sensor. So this camera, I was like, hey, this is like a little box camera. It uses traditional autofocus. This actually fits perfectly with the Elgato prompter. So I went through all this stuff setting up yesterday, and then I can do 4K. But you got this fixed lens, and it says it's a f1.057 millimeter lens, and it looks good, but it honestly doesn't look. Whoa, where are we at? Okay, it looks better than like a tiny webcam, but like not much. So it's basically, even though it's got this big camera body, the internals, it's like a very, very clear image, but if you want some of that background blur, you want that bokeh, you want all that kind of stuff, you're not gonna be able to get it from the Hollyland. And I was like, dang it. So then I unset everything up and took it down. But yeah, so anyway, I forget how I got into that, but that's the thing that I do like about the S7 is even though Micro Four Thirds is significantly smaller than like a full frame camera would be, it's also way bigger than most webcams. And so you put the interchangeable lenses on it, and you still get, especially if I were to scoot just a little bit closer, we still get a nice little bit of background blur that even this amount is really hard to get on anything else with a smaller sensor, unless you start getting into like, you know, artificial filters and stuff. So I don't know, that was a fun detour. Locking USB-C device. Yeah, this is really cool. I like it. I like the locking thing a lot. And I've seen a couple other devices that have the little hole next to the USB, and it's very, very handy for sure. What do you think about the wireless DJI Mic Mini? Oh my gosh, that's like one of my favorite mics. I was going to use it today because I get up and move a lot. I kind of thought I was going to be getting up and moving a lot today. And I just really like the sound of that mic. But since I was using the Rodecaster Video Core, I wanted to demo the SM7B on it just to show how it sounds. But the Mic Mini, I have a lot of little, wireless mics, and I like them all for different purposes. But the Mic Mini is probably the one that I use the most because, well, actually, I do like the sound, but also I really like that it has the Sony adapter. So since I have Sony cameras, I can put the hot shoe adapter and then the receiver, just like I used to be able to do with the Mic 2, and then it can go straight into the Sony camera. It adjusts the levels perfectly. It just works really, really well. So I like that a lot. I thought about getting the Mic 3 because it kind of looks like everything you like about the Mini, but more. But it is way more expensive, and the two biggest benefits for me are that the receiver has more, you can do more on the receiver, change the settings and stuff, which is nice. And the mics themselves have internal 32-bit float recording. The Mic Mini, you can't record internally. And the receiver is very basic. But it works really good, and it's so much cheaper than the Mic 3 that I just did that. After Dark someday, yes, it is a thing, don't worry. But it's just, lately Wednesdays have just been working out for me, and so that's just what we went there. That's just what we went. Blackmagic Micro Studio 4K G2. I actually don't know anything about that one. So I do really like Blackmagic cameras. Are you switching scenes on the Rodecaster Pro 2? I'm switching. Well, where is it? Wait, where'd it go? Oh, it's this one. I was like, where did that scene go? Let me go back to my preset here. I'm using the Rodecaster Video Core to run all my stuff. But I am switching using the pads on the Duo right here, which is pretty cool. And this doesn't actually even need to be here, which is why I actually did make this little under desk mount that even has a little headphone holder. And so that's something I talk about in video tomorrow. I designed these in Fusion, and I'm super, super proud of them. It's my first Fusion design, but it's it was a fun project because not only does it fit and work with the Rodecaster Video Core, but it's also designed to print easily. So it's not just making a design, but it's how can somebody actually easily print this in a way that doesn't require a whole bunch of supports or, failures or whatever. So I'm super proud of that design. Yeah, so there we go. What are your thoughts on the new Rodecaster Video Core? That's what I'm using right now. So I actually really I actually really like it. It works fantastic. If you need a 1080 switcher, my problem with it is just the price. And that's what I talked about last week. That's what I talked about in my video that I made, my more polished review that comes out tomorrow. And it's not Rode's fault, which sucks. The original price, originally the Rodecaster Video S was $500. And they said that the Core was going to be priced lower than that. They didn't say the exact price. To me, that probably means somewhere around $350, maybe $400. That's not the right shot. Hi. The thing about it, though, I don't know if you can hear this. It's very plasticky. It has no physical controls, so you have to connect it to other things, which can mean that the workflow can be a bit of a pain compared to a device that has its own buttons and its own controls. For $350, though, it's perfect. And that's why you can then just you just put it on a mount under your desk, and then you don't even need this on your desk if it's not in a situation where you're going to be moving it around. And I feel like the other Rodecaster videos, the S and the full-size one, those are great if you're moving things around a lot. You're doing events, you're working with clients, you're setting up different podcasting stuff all over the place. This one, you can obviously do that, but it is cheaper build quality and it has no physical control, so it's just going to be kind of a pain. All things that are okay for $350-ish though, because you also get amazing audio inputs, you get great 1080 video, you get all of the scene capabilities, which I'm just doing basic video switching, but you can add in scenes and graphics and play video clips and do all that kind of stuff. Pretty cool. And then you can connect it to an existing Rodecaster if you have one. You can control it through there. So it kind of adds video functionality to existing audio Rodecasters, which I think is really cool that they added like added functionality to existing devices. But because the price of everything increased, like computer components and processors and RAM and all that stuff, Rode had to increase prices. So the Rodecaster Video S went up to $800, which is like, people are very lucky when they got it for $500. And now the Video Core is $600. So it's $100 more than the S used to be. And that's just like, the way I look at it is everybody's budget is their own. So some people would be like, that's the perfect thing that I need. $600 is a bargain. And other people would be like, nope, don't want to do that. I have a very hard time. I feel like at that point, it's worth just getting the S because you get more physical capabilities. But if you know you're never going to move it, you're never going to need to set it up or deal with it, it's going to be a one-time setup, set it and forget it situation, then the Core does make sense because you can mount it under your desk or just leave it somewhere and never touch it again. It's going to be good. Quality-wise, like capability quality-wise, it's fantastic. It just sucks that they couldn't release it at the price they originally wanted to. Paul's editing a video right now comparing the Mic Mini to the Mic 3. Oh, I want to see that video. And yeah, you can buy the mini individual receivers. You can do it for the Mic 3 too. And they're like so cheap. And even the dual receiver kit that I have with the charging case is like $80 or something, $100. It's very affordable. Did you say you can switch cameras and scenes on the Core with the Stream Deck? Yes. Rode has a Rodecaster Video, whatever, control pack. I forget what they call it, but you go to the Elgato Marketplace and you install things. There's one for the Rodecaster Video. So that does solve the problem of not having physical controls on this. If you have a Stream Deck, boom, now you got physical controls. So no problem there. And of course, you can always do hotkeys. You can always assign it to keyboard stuff or whatever. No problem there either. Let's see here. Gavin says, I've heard you talking about mics, and I'm always a DJI guy until I tried the Hollyland Lark 2. Great wireless mics. Yeah, Hollyland mics are so good, especially like the price, the feature set. Yeah, they're really, really hard to beat. I love my Hollyland mics. I have the A1, which is kind of my default phone mic because it's just so small and so affordable. And then I have the Lark M2, which I really like as well. The little like circle pin one, which is nice. Ryukin had a thought about setting a desktop mic over a keyboard for keyboard sounds. It's so funny. The keyboard sound thing, because that's one of the questions whenever I do mic reviews, people often ask, like, does it pick up keyboard sounds? Does it not? And I never know if they're looking at that as a good thing or a bad thing, because sometimes people don't want to hear the sound of the keyboard. And other times people want the mechanical, like, thunk of the keys. So it's like people either love the sound of the keyboard and want to hear it or add an additional mic specifically for like keyboard ASMR, or they don't want to hear it at all. And it's just really funny because it's just different preferences, I guess. 65 pounds for the whole set of the DJI Mic Mini. That is, I don't remember how much. I feel like I paid more than that for mine. Maybe mine was like 80 or 90. I could probably look at my receipt. Elgato Wave XLR Mark II and Wave XLR Pro. Yeah, those do look really cool. I love Elgato. I love their products. They are the most disorganized company in the world when it comes to like sending out stuff for reviews, which I don't care. I never feel like entitled for anything, but for that kind of stuff, like I think they're really cool. I think they're great. I don't need them, so I'm not going to spend, like the Mic Mini I bought because I needed it, which is cool. But I don't need it. I don't have just a ton of extra budget to just buy like all the gear I'm semi-curious about. So it's like, they're just so Elgato's like what they tend to do is reach out a lot and be like, hey, let's send a thing, let's do this, we'll ask all the stuff, cool. And then I'm like, yeah, okay, if you want to send something, that's cool. And then they'll reach out again, like a different person will be like, hey, we think you'd really love this, love it, send. Okay, cool. And then nothing shows up, like, and they don't talk to each other. And then like, I don't know. They did send that keyboard, which I then ended up hating. So like, I don't know. Maybe they won't send anything else. Let's see. What do you think about the Osmo Nano for a studio camera? Looking at getting one for short content. I haven't used it. I can't imagine. I forget which cameras I have. I can't imagine. I mean, this is my little OBSBot webcam, super small sensor, and it's all fully automatic right now. I can't imagine it's going to look better than this. but I haven't used that one. So I think that max out at this quality and then maybe less. And then it also depends on your lighting. I have like so many lights in here right now. It's super bright. But yeah, so the way that the tiny sensor is going to work in differently lit environments. Yeah. The DJI Mic 3 supporting 4 transmitters is the reason I would consider it over the 3 over the Mini Aura 2. Yes, and see, I'm glad Gil popped in. He's talking about getting the Rodecaster Video S for $500, but Gil has assembled, I think I saw the thing, like you got a Mic Mini transmitter, then another one, and then you like collected them all and like built the whole 4 transmitter setup, which is pretty cool. And Gil seems to be very, very happy with those. Nils Braun says, I don't think we'll go back to those prices around $400 for these devices anytime soon. I don't think so either. Yeah, and the full-size Rodecaster Video has been on sale at a lot of places for like $850, which is confusing. It's normally $1,200. So you can get the Video S for $800 or the full video for $850. But that seems like that's clearly a temporary thing. So get it while you can, if possible. Yeah, it seems like all of these prices are not going down anytime soon unless, you know, there's a significantly less demand of AI for these things. And then there's more supply available. Love from India. What's up? But Pete says the Core is $579 in the UK. Video S is $499 and RCV is $699. That is super weird. At those price points, the full size is the way to go, or the S. The Core is not even something to consider. Does the Core include media storage? It does. And built in, it has 20 gigs of available built-in storage, and you can connect an SSD as well, which is cool. Hey, 3D printing question. Let's go. PETG. I never know if it's PETG or PETG, or ABS if I want to print a small bicycle part. This is a great question. I don't have the definitive answer, so maybe somebody else can lean into this. I feel like whenever I need something that needs to be as strong as I can make it and something that's going to be outdoors, dealing with temperature changes, direct sunlight, all that kind of stuff, I would lean towards ABS. But maybe PETG is the way to go. Have you used the NDI capabilities at all? I was actually trying. It has 4 NDI inputs, and I was trying to set up the Tail 2 as an NDI camera before this stream, and I just couldn't get it to work. I don't know if that was an issue. That's a user issue, probably. But it does have 4 NDI inputs. I have not been able to figure it out yet. But yeah, that's user mental capacity. Paul had to bug them for like 4. Oh, the Elgato stuff. Yeah, they're just a confusing company. And it's so. The way I take it and the way that I look at that, so since that sounded like I was saying bad things about Elgato, the good things is some companies have like whole departments geared towards like creator relationships and things. And it's like, you just have people who I don't know if they have quotas or what, but they have to reach out to like an absurd number of people and probably like send so many devices for review, hopefully generate so many pieces of content or whatever throughout the month. I have no idea how it works. Elgato, the vibe I get is that the people who reach out are also like involved in other departments. And so the impression I have, which is just based on my outside experience with them, is that they're really into like their products and making their products and all that kind of stuff. And then the like communication promotion part is kind of like a messy afterthought, which I'm actually okay with because I would prefer that they focus their energy and excitement and energy towards the stuff that they make rather than the marketing of the stuff that they make. And I think, you know, they have a quite a good track record of making good stuff. So it works. Egon says, I don't want specifics, but I'm intensely curious. Do you make significantly more money doing now what you did teaching, or is it just slightly more, but you have freedom? I guess it would be. So when I actually, oh my gosh, it's crazy. No, tomorrow. Sorry. Tomorrow is the 5-year anniversary of my last day teaching. I thought it was today, but no, it's tomorrow. Yeah. So I've been doing this full time for 5 years, which is crazy. And I think the highest income year was 2022. And the past 3 years have been like weirdly identical, like literally to within like $1,000 annually. It's been like this, which is crazy because there's no stability in this world. So that's kind of where it comes from. So teaching, when I was a teacher, I taught for 11 years. I have a master's degree and 2 credentials. So when you're a teacher, they have like the salary schedules for most districts, at least in the US, work this way. There's a salary schedule, and you basically start at like the top left corner, which is the least amount of money, and you want to move down to the bottom right, which is the most amount of money. And the way that you move down is through education and experience. So having like a master's degree and multiple credentials kind of put me down in a good way. And then you move over through experience, through the years that you spend there. So when I left teaching in California, my annual salary was around $92,000 a year, which is, I started at 48, and then after 11 years, I was at 92, which is fantastic. Like that's more than either of my parents ever made growing up by a wide margin. And we live in California, which is nice because California school districts tend to pay more, but we don't live in the highest cost of living area of California. We don't live in LA or San Diego or San Francisco or anything like that. Our cost of living is increasing. But yeah, so it's not, so that was actually like great. And the thing about teaching though, is you get, I guess it's a benefit or a curse. You get paid 10 months out of the year. So my annual salary, if you take round it to 90 divided by 10, that's about $9,000 a month. Then of course, minus taxes, minus, the insurance premiums or whatever. So I was taking home, like maybe $6,000 a month, and then bills and all that kind of stuff. So it was definitely enough to pay the bills, have a little bit of extra money for, microphones and gear and stuff, and then save a little bit of money every month. Nothing extravagant, but that's kind of where it was. When I left teaching, the YouTube channel was making about the same per month. Like pretty neck and neck, which is why it was kind of like having 2 full-time jobs and I had to pick one. But the thing with YouTube is there's no benefits, right? So I can also, the thing with teaching is if there's a month where there's no, no holidays, no breaks, nothing, you get paid the same as like December when half the month is Christmas vacation. So your monthly salary is your monthly salary, period. Whereas this, 0 guarantees. Like you could have the best month you've ever made and been like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. And then you could literally just lose money the next month and you never know. So that's why I'm like grateful for the relative consistency I've had. But there's also then no benefits. So like our health insurance for my wife and I is like $1,400 a month, and it's not even that great of a plan. And then bills, and then taxes, of course, because obviously like, yeah, you're like, oh, I did this sponsor video, or I look at these affiliate revenue, but it's like, yeah, half of that instantly disappears basically. But on the other side, you get income 12 months out of the year, potentially at least. Teaching, you only get paid 10 months. So that was where I was like, okay, we're kind of neck and neck. But then I realized like, wait, my monthly income is neck and neck with teaching, but teaching, I don't get a monthly income for 2 months out of the year. During the summer, you don't get paid. But I can still get paid through YouTube. So it was actually like, oh, that would end up being like a 20% raise essentially to start with. And so anyway, I've made more now than teaching. Actually, I guess, yeah, a pretty decent amount more, but not like a baller amount. Like if I don't do this and don't make videos, we will not pay our bills. Like I have, like it's very much like a job that needs to get done, but luckily I enjoy it and I love it. I hope that makes sense. And it's a weird thing to turn a hobby into a job. Frugal streamer, speaking of money, bought the DJI Mic Mini with the charge case yesterday for mobile phone rig, $80 on Amazon. Nice. Rode NT1 5th gen for $250 or Sennheiser MK4. I'm going to go Sennheiser. So I've actually not used the MK4, but it has been in my shopping cart for years because I think it's like such a cool mic. And the reason I say that, I actually really love the Rode NT1. So actually here. Let me reframe this. The NT1 5th gen, the reason you're paying that higher price for it is because it has USB functionality. So it's XLR USB combo, but the USB functionality is like so limited because you have no physical controls on the mic. You don't even have headphone monitoring. So it's actually kind of a pain to use the headphone or the USB connection on that. So I would then recommend looking at the Rode NT1 Signature Series, which is the same microphone without the USB functionality. The Sennheiser MK4 is an XLR-only microphone, so that seems like it would be fine in your case. The NT1 Signature Series also comes in cool colors. So I have my blue one right up there, which is actually, wait, I have a PTZ camera. Let me show you. Yeah, there we go. So the one on the bottom is this is like the NT1 4th generation. This is an older one. And then the one on the top is a Signature Series. And then I had the 5th generation, which I actually just gave away to somebody who needed a microphone. Somebody I know who their microphone broke and needed a new microphone. So I gave them that one. But yeah, the Signature Series is like $170 with the shock mount and everything. So that, I do love the NT1 mics. They're some of my favorite sounding mics in the world, but I also really love Sennheiser mics. So I would look at the Rode NT1 Signature Series, the Sennheiser MK4, and then you said in your country the 4 is cheaper than the 5th gen. See which one's cheaper and get that. Did you see the low profile arm? I did. I did see Rode had, they just very casually, when they were doing the marketing for the Rodecaster Video Core, they had low profile arms, which Rode surprisingly has never released a low profile arm. So I'm super excited. With NAB coming up next month and them teasing a new thing, I'm kind of like, you know, you don't need to be Sherlock Holmes to connect those dots. Let's see here. Sammy, what's up? I haven't seen you in a long time. Paul would assume what he does now, teacher pay is kind of bad. Teacher pay in the US throughout the country, like for my same job, same level of education where I was making $92K a year in California, in other states, I'd be making like $38,000 a year. Like it can vary so much. Luckily, California actually does teach its teachers quite well. Teaches teachers. I don't know if they teach their teachers that well, especially with what I just said. They treat their teachers pretty well overall compared to other states. Going back to the 3D printing, ABS for outdoor long-term, cool. Paul's been using ASA over ABS. I've been curious about that because from what I understand, ASA is pretty much the same strength, but without all the toxic fumes and gunk and stuff. Does 1080 or 4K matter for uploads? In terms of like algorithm and YouTube pushing it, I don't think so. It just sort of depends on what you like and what your viewers like, you know, the type of content you're doing or just what you prefer. I like doing 4K, and especially knowing that a lot of YouTube viewership is moving towards televisions and TVs just keep getting wider and higher resolution, or not wider, they keep getting bigger and 4K becoming more common. I think that's really helpful if someone's going to watch something on like an 85-inch TV. If it's 4K, it's going to look even better. So yeah. Rode or Blackmagic? For switchers, unless you're heavily in the Blackmagic ecosystem, as much as I like have a soft spot for the ATEMs and things, if you just want like switching, I would go with Rode because it can do more, and honestly, it can do more at a lower price for the comparable Blackmagic things. And it has way better audio. Blackmagic audio is just awful. If you're building a full-on setup and you're having the cameras and you're doing all kinds of converters and recorders and all that kind of stuff, then building out like a whole Blackmagic ecosystem actually makes a lot of sense. Let's see. Dispel my thought that the Core can do wireless mic transmission. Wireless mic transmission. Oh, let's see. That's a good question. Let's hop over to that. Man, we're going places. Okay, so here is, this is my advanced screen recording right here. So we have combo here. What can I change? Okay, let's go. Oh, these are just the presets. How do I... Oh, I don't want to change the mic I'm currently using, which is not this one, right? No. How do we do this? Okay. let me just add a new one. Yeah, let's do that. I'm actually not seeing any wireless options. And actually, I guess even a better way to dispel that would be we don't have a preset for it. Huh. That's weird. So based on my very advanced research right here, it does not appear that that is the case. On the other Rodecaster videos and the Rodecaster Pros, you can pair Rode's wireless mics directly to them without transmitters. Does not seem to be the case here. Interesting. Prompter XL. Yeah, I'm wondering the Prompter XL, if the back of the prompter has a wider window than the regular one does. And if so, then that means the YoloCam S7 would work with it, which would be very, very cool. Hi from Sri Lanka. What's up? And Thailand. Oh, it's like, wait, you're talking to them. I was like, wait, I knew you were in Thailand. Love the candid answer. I don't think people talk enough about the realities. Yeah, I'm happy to share that. I did a middle school career day last week, and it was funny because it was like 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, and I tried to be as transparent as possible, you know, because a lot of them are interested in, like, I mean, you don't know what you're going to do as your job at that age, and I told them, like, YouTube started when I was YouTube started in 2005. I started college in 2004, so it was literally impossible for me to go to school for the job that I have because it didn't exist when I was in school. And I imagine if you're a young kid in today's world, similar things could very much be possible. There could be jobs in the future that you don't even know exist now. So anyway, I tried to explain that even content creation, now that it's a little more established, is still kind of a mystery. And there's definitely a lot of like false thinking in terms of like how glamorous it can be. I guess it is glamorous for some people. It's, I would use the word content with my content instead of glamorous, because it's still like I gotta work to continue to live. But it's a thing that I feel super lucky. Like if I could just keep doing this forever, that would be awesome. Like that's what I want to do. There we go. $1,400 a month for health insurance. Yeah. I remember several years ago, I did a podcast with my friend Peter Lindgren, who lives in Sweden and has a fairly large YouTube channel and does a lot of 3D printing stuff. Actually, I'm using some of his merch right now to connect his USB Thunderbolt cables. I'm using those to connect my Rodecaster right now. But yeah, Peter, while we were doing the podcast, at one point he got a blood clot in his shoulder, and he was like 32 at the time. Like, it's a crazy thing. So he had to go to the hospital, multi-day stay, emergency surgery, the whole thing. But he lives in Sweden, and literally, I don't remember the exact price, but I know the most expensive part of his stay was parking, which I think was $20. Yeah, and it is literally a thing in the US where, like, if you're sick, if you get hurt, it's like the debate of whether or not to go see somebody, go to the doctor, go to the hospital, it comes down to price. Like if you walk in the emergency room, especially if it's after hours, it's like no matter what you need, that's like basically $4,000 that's going to get. So yeah, it's a mess. And I don't know what the, so this is another reality of it too. When I left teaching, I wanted us to have basically the same insurance we had, because I had good insurance through teaching. It was like a PPO, which means you can choose your doctor and all that kind of stuff. And I think through the district, we were paying like $600 a month for both of us. To get that same plan, which was like their gold level plan, was like $1,100 a month at the time. And now, 5 years later, we're paying $1,400 a month for a plan that is 2 tiers down. We're like the silver minus plan or something. So it basically means like deductibles are higher and fewer things are covered. And so many times I'm just like, what are we paying for? like, would it not just be cheaper to just save $1,400 a month in an account and use that? I know, like, catastrophic things when you have crazy illnesses and whatever, and then you get those weird medical bills where it's like, yeah, your small surgery was $78,000, and you're like, why? I don't know. It's a scam. That's what I say. QuirkWorks. I had to go without health insurance for a few years because out-of-pocket costs for my company went to $2,400. It is insane. To use a Mac or desktop, I use both. I'm on my Windows PC right now, and I have my MacBook Pro. My MacBook is what I do most of my work on. The PC was added last year primarily for gaming, but it's really fun to do other things with it. So I put the Elgato Camlink Pro in there as a capture card. It runs OBS great. It's been really nice to have both, because things like this, like the Hollyland camera I mentioned a minute ago, it's supposed to work with an app, but it had buggy firmware when it was sent to me, so it never worked with the app, which meant I couldn't fix it or connect it. I couldn't get it working with my Mac, which is why then I was like, ugh. I just told them, like, here, let me send this back to you, but they never sent me a shipping label. And like, I'm not going to pay to send it overseas. And then I just literally yesterday was like, wait, I have a PC now. Maybe that'll help. And so I was able to connect this to the PC, use a Hollyland app on the PC, which ended up letting me fix the firmware, so it works now. And I really like that. There's some things where you have to use one or the other. And then also there's just other things where it's like I'm using all the Rodecaster software on PC right now. I've used it on Mac forever, so I know it works well there, but now I'm using it on PC, so now I have the experience. And when I make the videos, when people ask comments, I can speak to both of them. So it's actually like really, really helpful. Click on, I know we were talking about the wireless things. Yeah, I couldn't. The wireless antennas on the RCVS on top of the PCB where the knobs are. Yeah, the Rodecaster Video, the full-size one, and I guess the S, it literally has like physical antennas you can connect to it. This does not have that. Ooh, Simply Andy, what's up? Use the MKH50 for my latest video. Voice sounds nice with little adjustments. It's, yeah, direct flight versus multiple flights for the end result. It gets you right there. And what we're talking about here, let's see. My magic camera. See, this is why it's nice to have a PTZ camera. That's the back of my chair. What's up? There it is. Here, if I move my chair out of the way, and then we enhance this imagery, because you needed to see this. We couldn't just talk about a microphone. I have to show you the microphone. There's my MKH50. It is on my the rig that has my FX3, like my main filming rig right there, which currently is over here with an 85mm lens, because we've been watching a lot of Korean dramas lately, and the lighting and like the style of them is so fantastic. As somebody who loves shallow depth of field and like high key lighting. So anyway, I'm playing around with setting up like a little talking head that's lit like a Korean drama because, for some reason. It's what the people want. But yeah, the MKH50 is such an amazing mic. You could still connect wireless mics to the audio interface instead of the core. Yeah, you could. The Rodecaster Pro that the core is running into, you can connect the wireless mics to that, and you can mix them together. So that's true. YouTube is a hard career to get into. Lots of hard work. Yes, it is. I mean, I've seen the people. We've all seen the people who live in like mansions and drive the fancy. And it's like, I don't know what, I'm not doing what they're doing. Whatever they're doing is not what I'm doing. But I feel like you also have to kind of sell your soul to do that. And, you know, Heather, my wife, and I talk about this all the time. Like, you know, it's nice to just kind of be normal. Like money makes people weird. And I don't know. We just want to keep our lives happy and healthy and safe. And that's kind of it. Hospitals kick you out as soon as they can. Yeah, because you got to turn over the beds, right? Oh, what do you think about Motion VFX being bought by Apple? I actually really like Motion VFX. I have some videos on some of their things. Actually, my Final Cut Pro. Oh, this is even more. Yes. What is it? Not serendipity. Synergy. Corporate synergy. My Final Cut Pro editing course, Rough Cut to Final Cut, which is available for free right here on this YouTube channel. It basically goes through like me constructing a video from start to finish and kind of my whole process. And the video that's all based around is actually a Motion VFX tutorial. So I think it's really cool that Apple bought that, and hopefully seeing those tools more seamlessly integrated into Final Cut is awesome. And would, you know, I don't know. I would really like it, and it makes me happy to think that they're still willing to invest in Final Cut. I know they just revamped it with like the subscription version and all that, so I don't know. I don't know if those new things are going to come to the regular paid version. I hope so. The Core has no built-in wireless. Yeah, it's crazy. I didn't even think about that. Sending you the bill for the P2S. The P2S is so good. Oh my God. And it has been fun to print. And by the way, if you get the Rodecaster Video Core, the mount that I designed, the one without the headphone thing on it, prints is just the exact right size to print on the P2S. There we go. Saw the Royal Kludge S98 selling somewhere. Yeah, they have a few different colors of the S98, and it's a fantastic keyboard. Absolutely fantastic. Is there a way to bring more than 2 wireless mics into any Rodecaster? Not without just like connecting the receiver with a wire. So like you can connect to directly, and then you can have more that have, the receiver, and then the receiver just goes into one of the normal inputs. That's not it's not as slick, but that's definitely a way to do it. What's happening here with my chat windows what happened? Where did my scrolly scroll go? There we go. Oof. I have a Maono G1 Neo that I use with a Samsung Q9X. I use a cheap booster and occasionally run into a lot of noise. Wondering if I should upgrade to a Rodecaster, upgrade my mic. If you're thinking that the noise is coming from your booster or your preamp or something like that, I would recommend changing the interface. The Rodecasters are fantastic. If you have the budget, you get one, yes, get a Rodecaster. Get the Rodecaster Pro, get the Duo. They're great. The reason I like them so much is because they have 76 decibels of built-in gain, so you don't need a booster anywhere in there. And you also, for any microphone, and they also have great built-in processing. That's what I'm using right now on the SM7B. I think it sounds awesome. You can make your own presets, but they just have I'm sure you've seen this. Wait, let's go back to our first presets here. If you go into the Rodecaster, when you select stuff, you can actually just slide through and choose specific microphones. And they even though the SM7B, the RE20 are not Rode microphones, they already have built-in presets for those. And then you can do your processing here. You can even go into advanced, and now you have, trying not to block the screen. And now you have the option to really kind of go in and dial, fine tune all of your EQ and stuff. I'm using a channel that's not currently active because I didn't want to mess anything up there. So I love that. I love them for that reason. Any microphone, you can take any microphone and make it sound great with a Rodecaster easily. There are other interfaces that aren't as expensive. Anything with at least 70 decibels of gain is what I recommend. So the 4th gen Focusrite Scarletts are great because they're pretty affordable, but they don't have any of that built-in processing. You run your stuff through there. They have great clean preamps, and then you have to do all the processing in whatever software you're using, which is not a problem. I'm using OBS right now. I can add in audio processing through that. You can add in audio processing through Ecamm Live or, any kind of audio recording application. But I just love that the Rodecaster, I never have to think about it. And when I record videos using the Rodecaster, I never have to adjust the audio, maybe the levels a little bit just to make sure it's at the right level, but that's it. Kim, what's up? It's nice to see you here. I'm always excited to see Kim. Do you want to talk about someone who just has fun doing their thing, content with their content? That's Kim. You can connect external receivers to analog inputs. That's the simpler way of saying what I was trying to say. All RCVs have 4 NDI inputs and a single assignable NDI out. Yes, because I can, just to go back to that. Let's go to the screen recording. Where am I at here? We're in solution 9 over here. Is this the right window? Which window am I using? Hello. Oh, wait, am I? Oh, this is the wrong monitor. There we go. I swear I've done these things before. But yeah, if we look at the Rodecaster software, this is the scene builder. The input source this is for camera 3. I don't want to actually change this, but these are the options I can choose for input. So we have HDMI, all of those. I have USB 4, and then network NDI 1, 2, 3, and 4, which is very, very cool. And there is also on the Rodecaster Video Core, it's worth pointing out too, that there is a single USB mic input on the front. So if I had this mounted below on my desk or whatever, and I wanted to put that there, I could do that. It would be no problem. Do 3D printing. Oh my God, 3D printing is the best. Bet you've been watching. We haven't seen Mr. Sunshine. I know, but Korean drama. So the two that I've watched, Heather's watched a few more than I have. The two that I've watched are Extraordinary Attorney Woo. Totally recommend. And we are halfway through the last episode of Castaway Diva, which is actually the same actress. Both I highly recommend. I would start with Attorney Woo because it's fantastic. But it's crazy. I was even doing some Googling yesterday just to like figure out if I'm just noticing this, but it's like everything has crazy shallow depth of field, which I love. But there's kind of a thing lately where a lot of people are like, you know, hot take, I don't need to shoot everything at f1.4. And I'm like, hot take, I grew up with camcorders. If I could put f1.4 on a full frame camera, you bet I'm going to do that. But in Western movies and TV shows, when things have shallow depth of field, a lot of times you do kind of notice like it'll be like a lot of times in close-ups, and you know, like the actor's eyes will be in focus, but the side of their face or their ear will be out of focus. Like it's really kind of right there. Whereas in the K-dramas, there's super shallow depth of field, but every bit, you know, sides of the head, face, everything of the actors is perfectly clear and in focus. And the background looks super compressed. Like there's just bokeh everywhere, everywhere in those things. And I love the way that it looks. And so I was thinking they must be using, which I confirmed, a lot of them use really long lenses. Like that's why I have the 85 on my FX3 over there. But they use super long lenses, and then they just keep the camera really far away. A lot of them are like 100 millimeter, you know, like essentially macro lenses being used for this, which is crazy. And then the lighting is like, a lot of times at least, not in every scene, but there's just so much lighting. Like everybody has rim lights. There's colored accents everywhere. There are, you know, if there's a window in a room, it's just like light is being flooded through it. I just love the way that it looks so much. It looks so different from like the movies and TV shows that I'm used to seeing. So yeah. Blink 2 times if you have an idea if Rode has some new headphones coming. The NTH100 seem to be out of stock. Oh, I actually have zero ideas, but NEB is coming up. They have 2 types of NTH100s. Huh. It's been what, 3 years since those came out? I don't know. Maybe they have something. Airport Streams, awesome. Uses the Hollyland Lark system, not DJI, and plug the receiver into one of the inputs. Yeah, we're talking about adding wireless mics to the... what's the story with the Conan poster? Oh yeah. So this is great. I love Conan a lot, for many reasons. Again, I do not remember which camera. Let me zoom in on my Conan poster here if I can. We'll zoom out. There's my PC. We're talking about this poster right here. Yeah. So fun fact: when Conan took over the Tonight Show, not his TBS show, but when he left New York, came to LA and took over the Tonight Show, I was in the front row of the audience for the first taping of the first episode, which is like he was giving his monologue, and me and like the friends that I was with, we were just looking at it like we were right there. It was crazy. It was such a cool experience. And I saw another taping of the Tonight Show as well. And I remember this is all my fault. So last year, I got interested in building PCs, and then PC parts skyrocketed. When I saw Conan's first Tonight Show, I remember saying, like, it's crazy that we're at the very first episode, because think of all the stuff that's going to happen here for years and years, and we're at the first episode, and then the show got canceled after 7 months. And that was June of 2009 June 2nd, 2009 is when that was. And then there was a whole thing where Conan and Leno had this feud, and Conan ended up leaving NBC. And there was a part of his contract that said he was legally prohibited from being on TV for like a year. And so he actually did a tour where he went around like the country, kind of doing like a variety show tour in 2010. And I saw him in Las Vegas, and that's a poster from it. And I just really like it. It's cool. And that's the story of it. It used to be in my classroom, and then when I stopped teaching, or I think I just moved it here. I'm trying to see what date, because the Vegas date is on there. It was May, right? Was it May? Oh yeah, it was May 2nd. May 2nd, 2010 was when I got that. So that's the story of the coding poster. Egon loves the NTH 100s. Yeah, I got mine. I have like 4 pairs of these. They are fantastic. They've been basically my main headphones. The other headphones I have, which Sony sent these last fall, I don't use them for editing, but these are like a wireless headset. These are great. They're like super noise canceling, and the mic is actually pretty awesome. So I use these when we play games a lot because it's just really fun. Yeah, Paul just got his NTH 100s. I didn't realize they were out of stock everywhere. That's crazy. Simon Phoenix. I'm very interested about where that username came from. Actually, no, I'm not, because I saw your profile picture. Fantastic. Still has Rodecaster Pro 1. Mine is right there. It still works. I don't use it because the only reason I have the Rodecaster Pro 2 and the Duo, so like, why wouldn't I use those? But yeah, the preamps, that one using SM7B and stuff, I always needed a booster, and that problem is fixed with the other ones. But yeah, that's the thing with like the Rode mixers, and people often ask like, oh, when they come out with a new one and a Rodecaster Pro 3, and it's like, I don't know. I mean, if you're a nerd or a super enthusiast like I am, you might want to update them often. But like for most people, it's kind of a thing you buy one time. It's like a couch. Like, how often do you need to upgrade your couch, you know? Yeah. Oh yeah, Paul got the NTH 100 with the mic. That's the headset that Heather uses when we play games, and she always sounds fantastic too. Having trouble getting my Duo connecting with the Rodecaster Video S plus a YOLO S3 webcam. If the YOLO cam's on USB 4, how do I get the Duo audio output on USB? Oh. Are you talking about, I'm assuming you're talking about using Rodecaster Sync, the thing I'm using to connect the two right now. It is sort of strange, which right now I'm using USB 3 to connect the two, but I've also used USB 2, but today it didn't want to work on USB 2. Rodecaster Sync is also still in beta, so there could be things like that. But the YOLO cam, see, I had this problem. Okay, actually, I had a similar problem when I was making the video for the Rodecaster Core, because I wanted to have the HDMI inputs. The Rodecaster was connected to a computer and to the Rodecaster Duo, and I wanted a USB webcam, but I also needed an SSD to record the video, so I couldn't use the USB webcam because of that. So I think you might be running into that situation where the full-size Rodecaster Video has more USB webcam inputs, like I think an extra one. So yeah. Tom, you're too kind. I appreciate that. What games have you and Heather been playing? Final Fantasy 14 is kind of always a through line. The one we've been playing most besides that is Lethal Company. She's been going through the Octopath series on the Switch 2 lately, so that's kind of a constant thing. And then together with friends, we're playing Lethal Company, Final Fantasy, and Repo. Those are kind of the main ones there. What's the name of that comfortable IKEA chair you got? Yeah, that's not this chair. This is just from Amazon. But the IKEA chair, let me see if I can bring up a new window, and I will show you, because they still make it, but they don't make it in the same colors. So let me go to my browser here, and there we go. Wait. Oh, no, I'm still there. I was like, where am I? Oh, I guess I can make this window wider. Nice. Okay, let's go shopping at IKEA. Why not? Yeah, IKEA makes... I just want to go shopping. That's literally what I said. No. Allow while visiting the site. Office chair. This guy, the Milberget. I've had a black one. In my classroom, I had this one, and I believe it's actually still in that classroom, and it's from 2012. But it worked at least till 2021 when I was there. And then I have a white one, which is actually just out in our hallway. They don't make the white, they make a beige one now. Mine is like black and white, and it looks really cool. That's out in the hallway now. I've had that one for 7 years. And they're like, they used to also only be like $60 or $70. They've increased in price. This price though, I would still say is worth it. But yeah, that chair, honestly, it is a pretty comfortable chair. It's not like you're going to sit in it and be like, wow, like luxury, but it's a chair that you can sit in and work at for a long time and feel fine. It has no fancy things. It can kind of rock a little bit. It doesn't have footrest. It doesn't have movable armrest, but it just like works. And I like things like that I used in high school environments because those are tough environments. You know, even though it's like, in theory, it's just my chair that's behind my desk, but you know it's getting used by students and it's getting pulled into like projects that kids are working on and setups for things. And the fact that never had any single issue with it or bit of damage works really well. Does the Core have any built-in scoreboard or action replay? No. If that's what you're looking for, the YOLO box is the way to go, especially scoreboard. They're the only ones I know of that have that done well, and they do it very well. The Rodecaster Pro 2 can send all the analog inputs to USB as separate channels. Yes. So the Rodecaster Video can see all of the different inputs from the audio Rodecasters, which wasn't true when the Rodecaster Video was originally released, and they updated it, which is fun. Hello to the UK. What's up, Authentic Unvarnished? Social Stream Ninja or Live Chat Overlay. I've been using Live Chat Overlay because I find it much simpler. So that's what this is. I was trying Social Stream Ninja, but my problem with that, at least me, and keeping in mind like my primary way of streaming for the past 6 years has been through Ecamm, which everything's just integrated and built in, but Ecamm is Mac only. So when I'm on my PC, I can't use it. So I was using Social Stream Ninja, but every time I tried to stream, I like had to fight with it to get it working, and then I forgot how it worked. And it's just Aaron's thing, like it just works every time, and it's just simpler, and I like it. And honestly, I like the way that it looks better, so I just went there. Mr. Robbie went to Johnny Carson's Tonight Show, but he wasn't the host. Oh, crazy. I saw Conan twice at the Tonight Show. I saw Conan twice at his TBS show. And I actually saw David Letterman in New York also wow, was that also 2009? Dang, I saw Conan's Tonight Show and Letterman's Late Show within like a month of each other. I'm sure I realized that at the time. I didn't realize that right now. That's crazy. Are those the Sony InZone? Yeah, these are the InZone 3 or something. I think they don't have the model number on them. They are great. The noise cancellation works great. This is the first pair of real noise canceling headphones I have. They're very, very comfortable, and the mic works, and the mic also pops out. So like, I always wear these when I'm vacuuming and stuff, so I don't have to like hear the vacuum. Yeah, they work really well. And what I like about them a lot, could be something that's common with these kind of headphones, I don't know, is you can have multiple sources running simultaneously. So like, if I have it paired to my computer, I have the audio coming through my computer, but then I play something on my phone, the phone audio will go through with the computer audio. Like, that's really cool and super convenient. David's asking, what HDMI capture cards do you like for cameras for streaming and recording? It depends on your need, of course. The simple answer. Here is the best answer. I'm a visual person, so I have to show you. Okay, actually, you know what? It's 2026. Let's revise this answer a little bit. In 2026, a lot of cameras have USB webcam functionality. So sometimes you don't even need this. And newer cameras, especially in the past year or so, even mirrorless cameras like Sony mirrorless cameras can do 4K 30 over USB. So in that case, you might not need an HDMI capture card at all. And that's something that just was not true a couple years ago. So I wanted to revise that answer and just point out that depending on the camera you're using, you might not even need a capture card. You might be able to connect it through USB. If you're looking at capture cards, we can show off the autofocus on the YOLO Cam. The Camlink, the Elgato Camlink is still my favorite one because it's cheap and it works great and it does up to 4K 30. So I really like that one. If you just need a single input. If you want two inputs, most computers can handle two of these running at the same time, and that works great. If you want multi-input, then that's where you're getting... I'm looking at the wrong camera. If you want multi-input, then that's where you're getting into things like ATEMs and Rodecasters and YOLO boxes. The ATEMs are great for simple switchers. And actually, oh my God, sorry, there's so many options now. It's crazy. Because I'm looking over here, I have the Cinetrek S Touch, which is, you know, it has a big 10-inch touch screen and physical controls as a switcher. So there's that kind of stuff. There's the OC switchers. There's lots of like 1080 switchers. Getting into things like the Rodecaster videos, those are if you want high quality audio and you maybe want to start adding in some other graphics and things. And then that's also the YOLO box. If you want to go crazy with graphics or if you need a 4K multicam workflow, that's where the YOLO box comes into play. So lots of options there. And then there's also, believe it or not, even more options because nothing can ever just be simple. I don't know if I can capture it on the camera here. This is like a wildlife documentary. If I zoom in on my PC, kind of see it through the reflection right there. That is the Elgato Camlink Pro. So that is a PCIe capture card that has 4 4K inputs. So that's cool. If you don't need physical controls, you don't need buttons, you have a computer that can take a capture card like that. It's only like $250 too. They don't make them anymore. They're not making new ones, but the existing stock is still available. It's like $250. And you get 4 4K inputs, and each input is individually recognizable by your computer. So that's usually what I use when I'm streaming because it's also 4K. But today I'm using the Rodecaster. So pretty cool. Let's see here. Sorry, my chat keeps jumping around. See if IKEA and switching. Yeah, that chair, the Milberget. I've had 2 of them and I've never had any issues. And one of them is still, I mentioned it last time. It's like, it's our dog's chair. So if I sit in it, he comes up and just looks at me so sad until I leave. So I can't use it anymore. Yeah. Dennis says 40 years hooking up broadcast gear, but the Rode USB drives me a little nuts sometimes. Plug and pray. Yes, I love that term. That is exactly it. Doug's asking, what's your preferred class role? I ended up playing way too much of a short period ARR to Endwalker. Yeah, Heather and I just finished Dawn Trail like the other day, so I'm starting the patch content for Dawn Trail. We're talking about Final Fantasy 14. My main class is Black Mage, but my secondary one would be Bard. I really like Black Mage, but especially later on in the later dungeons and things, they made it more mobile. Black Mage is the thing when you want to do something, you have to kind of stand in place and like cast a spell that takes like 4 seconds. And that's very hard to do when chaos is happening all around you. Oh no, my mouse. Let's see if I can grab that. So that's why I like Bard, because Bard is very, very mobile. You can shoot arrows and jump and leap and stuff, but Bard doesn't do as much damage. So anyway, that's my main thing. So DPS is my main thing. I was trying to learn White Mage, which I was really liking, but I didn't play it for a while, and I think I've forgotten everything. I was at like level 60. My Bard and my Black Mage are both level 100. And I've wasn't there a tank I was kind of trying? I've never really tried tanking. So yeah. How are you liking your PC? I absolutely love it, and with the rising prices of everything, I'm more and more grateful for it every single day, because even though it's old, it's a 2020 PC, it runs fantastic. It does everything I need to do. It works great. Like, I do not need to update it. When I got it, it's easy to go in the world of PC specs. And then also before things were super expensive, it's like, oh, you could upgrade. You could make some pretty significant upgrades for a couple $100. And so that was, oh, look, I could get like a new processor and then a new GPU or whatever. And now it's like, no, nothing, which thankfully I don't need to upgrade anything. Knock on wood, as long as it all keeps working. Not sure if I asked, but is Rode extending Rodecaster Sync to Rodecaster Video S? I believe so. I think they all can talk to each other, as far as I know. I have the full Rodecaster Video, and I don't have the Rodecaster Video S. Software is the same for all RCVs, so the channel sync will be on there. Maybe limitations. Yeah, it seems like from what I know of the S and the Core, functionally they're the same, except for maybe the wireless thing. IKEA has that chair in Switzerland, black or beige for $125. Nice. I have a lot of issues getting the cam link to work continuously with 4K input. Really? Really? The thing I can say, I've never had any issues with my cam links. The thing I can say though is I do try to make sure I run them directly into the computer and not through a hub. Sometimes hubs can cause problems. USB cables can cause problems. And then sometimes a thing that trips me up is my camera's output. Sometimes I find if your camera has like an HDMI output menu and you can choose 1080, 4K, or auto. Sometimes if it's on auto, it can screw things up. So there we go. I want to know what my Amazon chair is. This is the I forget what the brand was. We talked about it last time. It's like Go Shark or something. I think it's called Go Shark or B Shark or something. Yeah. Let me find it. Let me dig into my. Let me off stream go into my personal Amazon account so I can like find my orders and stuff. I have some props being delivered today specifically to help me make my thumbnails look more like K-dramas. No, it's not this one. That's my old chair. And that chair sucked. So this chair, R Shark. Okay, let me show you. Boop. Yeah, this is the current chair that I'm sitting in right now, which has been great. Like I asked people for chair things. The arms go up, which is nice. It's pretty simple. It just rocks a little bit, but I like the headrest. It's quite comfortable. It's very lightweight, which actually works really well for me because like my wife has the Corsair TCM 500. Let me show you her chair, which is so nice. Let's see, M500. Oh, TC 500, not M. Yeah, she has this chair, which is very, very nice, more expensive. The thing about this chair, though, is it is super heavy. So, like, it's on wheels, obviously, but for me, I like change my setup in my studio constantly. And so the heavy chair is just like a pain, and it's a little bit wide. So sometimes if I need extra space, I put the chairs outside my door here just to get extra space. And if this chair breaks, I probably would just get that chair because they make a sweet version. I mean, her version is awesome, and with purple being her favorite color, it makes a lot of sense. But they also make this really cool like frost version. I would probably get this one. I really like white chairs. They look bright and nice on camera, so I like them. But it's really expensive. So this chair being super lightweight, like it's so easy to lift over stuff, to move around. It fits through doors, no problem. The only thing I'm having issues with, which is, it's not a durability thing. On the chair I had before this, the armrest fell apart and it was like fake leather, which the IKEA chair is also fake leather and fine. But that chair, like literally within weeks of getting it, the armrests were like cracking and ripping and falling apart. And it was just whatever. So this one, I don't know if I can. Oh, you know what? I'm getting my money's worth out of the tail too today. This one has fabric armrests, so there's no fake leather or anything. But this like really kind of rubs. Like you need to wear more long sleeves to use this chair, basically, because. Yeah. Otherwise, like the other day, over the weekend, we played games with friends for a while, and I was like really leaning on that. And my elbow, it has been like 4 days, and I still feel like I have rug burn on my elbow from the chair. That's my downside to that chair. Yeah. I think the new Elgato Cam Link can do 4K 60. Oh, really? I didn't even know there was a new one. That's cool. There's a Cam Link 4K. Elgato often does, I'm not seeing anything there, but Elgato does often do like silent updates where they did this with the, this is the WaveArm Pro because it has the pneumatic tube, but with the regular one, they did like a version 2, but it's still just called the WaveArm, and they fixed the mounts, they fixed the hinge, they like really upgraded a lot of things and made it better. They put stronger magnets in the cable routing. But it's not listed as like version 2 or anything. It's just they modified it, and that's kind of the version there. So maybe they did something similar with the Cam Link, where it's not like a whole launch, but it's just, yeah. The Cam Link should have USB-C in 2026. Yeah, it does. This is like one of my few remaining USB-A devices, but it does work well, even though I don't like running it through hubs. When I run it through the little like A to C adapters, it has always worked fine. So yeah. Mr. Robbie doesn't play games. I like the Final Fantasy movies, though. I've played a little bit of Final Fantasy 9. Heather, it's her favorite series. She's played like all of them. 14 that's the one that hooked me. Man, it's so good. With Rode's price increase, I'm pretty sure Sync will come to all the models. Yeah. The A6700 now supports 4K 30 without the capture card. Yeah. It's funny, when the A7 IV came out, it did 4K 15. So you can do 4K streaming at 15 frames a second, which is like stop motion. It's not usable. So I don't know why they did that. But that was updated, and I think that can do 4K 30 over USB. Even the A7S III, the 5-year-old camera, got an update to do USB streaming, which is just like, it's crazy. So yeah. It is when I got my PC, I made a video about it, so a lot of you probably, I'm sorry if I'm repeating the story, but last year I got interested in building a PC specifically for gaming, and then also because I wanted to just tinker around with like PC versions of stuff that I use for, content creation type things. And and the idea of building a PC seems really fun, right? Like it just seemed cool to me and interesting. And so I did like a YouTube community post. I was hoping you could see like the cool colors more. So I did a YouTube community post asking for like input, because I really didn't know. I was just kind of like recently, last week, I made a video asking about 3D design software. Cause I'm like, I don't know. There's people with more experience than me, so let me rely on that knowledge. Same thing with this. I was like, I don't know much about PCs. I want to build one. This is what I want to use it for. What, do I do Intel? Do I do AMD? What kind of GPU? What kind of stuff? And this is before all the price increases. And somebody reached out and was like, hey, I saw that post. I built a PC back in like 2020. And he's like, I built it for the same reason you did, but I ended up never really using it. You're more than welcome to have it if you want. And I was very hesitant because I just felt too guilty. And I was like kind of shopping around, and I was even trying to figure out like, could I do like a sponsored video where like, it's like, I don't know, like I go to like a place like B&H and someone there explains all the different components to me, and then I use those components to build a PC. Like, is there a way to reduce the costs? And it was just stacking up even before the price increases to be a little expensive. And the person who did this, he's like, seriously, like, it's just sitting here. It's not being used. I would rather it be used and appreciated. Happy to send it. I was like, I feel guilty taking stuff, but I love giving things to people. So like, okay, maybe this is the same thing where the person's going to feel good to give something, and I'll try not to feel guilty on the receiving end. So anyway, he sent it out. It's awesome. And I did end up frying the motherboard. So I had to replace the motherboard, which ended up being a fun project, because to do that, you have to basically unbuild the PC and then rebuild it. So I got the experience of building a PC, even though it was rebuilding it. But the things I needed to add to it, and I added a bunch of fans to it. It did not have this much RGB. So I added fans for extra cooling. I added the Elgato Camlink Pro, and then the other thing was I needed to put in an SSD, because he just took his, he's like, the SSD with all his info on it, just keep that. So I added that. The 2 terabyte SSD that I got was, I don't remember it's a Samsung one. It was like $130. I want to see the price of it now. Samsung 2 terabyte SSD as an M2. That's what it was. It is $416 right now. And I bought that 7 months ago. Like, come on. Ryukin's going to go to sleep now. Okay, have a good night. Do not stay up and lose sleep because of me. Please. Kim usually plays the Black Mage in anything. I don't do close combat. I like ranged for sure. I would get the RCV. It had a call me video feature. We were talking about that last week, because the video side of things is just so much more complicated. what I would imagine, and the thing we talked about in the stream last week is Call Me is a service that already existed, or the platform that already existed, and Rode kind of licensed it and then incorporated it into the Rodecaster Video, or the Rodecaster Pro, sorry. I would imagine to do video guests, they would have to do something similar because it's probably just so difficult to make your own. YOLO does have their own guest platform included with the YOLO box, which is cool. Obviously Ecamm has theirs, but on a portable device. I have a feeling if Rode wanted to do it, which I'm sure that's like such a commonly requested feature, they have to be aware of it. But I think it would probably be something like that, where instead of them doing it from scratch, they'd have to like partner with an existing platform and incorporate it. So we'll see. Thou shalt not covet another man's chair. It's funny, like looking for chairs. I learned so many people dislike their chairs. I use a Steelcase Gesture. It's heavy. Steelcase makes good stuff, but yeah, heavy. Liam, what's up? Favorite mic is the Shure SM7B. What is your favorite mic? I think it is the Shure SM7B, which is such a like, oh my gosh. Yesterday I watched that documentary on, it's a new Netflix documentary called like Inside the Manosphere. And the number of just like awful people shouting into SM7Bs, I was just like, I don't know. I felt bad for the microphones. And then I was just like, please don't have watched any of my tutorials. Like, please don't let me have been a part of any of this. The SM7B is not an exciting answer to say as a favorite mic, but it is the one where it's just like, you don't have to worry about handling noise. You add in some EQ and processing, it's going to sound amazing on any voice. It doesn't have a plosive problem. It just kind of like, it just works. As long as you have something that can power it, that can give it enough gain, it just gets the job done. I do love my Lewitt mics. I love my Rode NT1s. Those are great. And I have over here, which maybe I should plug that in, just see. I have a very cool warm audio mic. That's probably not like something that could be like a favorite because it's too specialized, but it's basically like a budget version of a Neumann mic, if that's possible, which is cool. Get elbow pads or put knee. I've thought about all the things. Like, do I put things on here? Yeah. In the wintertime, it's not a problem because you just wear sweaters and stuff. So it's like, now that it's going to be 105 degrees here today, which is like 40 something Celsius. It's very hot today. And yeah, I ain't wearing a sweater today. 90 minutes. Is that the call? If money is no object, the H2D is amazing. 3D printers. Yes. I have a video. If you're interested in 3D printers, I have a recent video about the Bamboo H2C, which is their flagship printer. And they sent that over, which is crazy. And I was super clear in that video that I was like, I love this printer. It's awesome. It works great. Buy the P2S. Like most people, the P2S is more than you'll ever need. And it's such a good printer and it's very reasonably priced for what it can do. It's just so good. Yeah. Does he see the chat? Like, can he answer us? Yes, he can. Gotta go, peep. See you, Paul. Oh, grinded out the gym. Let's go. Yes, he sees the chat. I think a silent update made a video. I think the cam link that comes with USB A to C is the one that can do that. Interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah, thanks everyone for helping Liam out. We're at 90 minutes. I caught up with the chat, so we're kind of there. Have you reviewed the Core? I'm using the Core right now. That is what I am running. Nope, that's the wrong camera angle. Let's switch our angle. There we go. There's the Core. There's the Duo. Running all my audio into the Core, but controlling it through the Duo, switching my cameras through the Duo and all that. And this is a YOLO Cam S7 connected through USB. This is the OBSBot Tail 2. Oh, no, sorry. Connected through HDMI, OBSBot Tail 2 through HDMI, OBSBot Tiny 3 through USB, and then Canon EOS R through HDMI. So a variety of cameras, formats, resolutions, all going in. Oh, that's also the thing. The YOLO Cam and the OBSBot, the Tail 2 are putting out 4K HDMI into the Core 2, and it's just taking it and making it all 1080 30. And then I have an actual video on it coming out tomorrow. So that's just relevant. There we go. It's mid-30s Fahrenheit in New York City. That is insane. Our high today is, I think it was 105, but I think it went up. Oh no, 105 is still the high. But this week we get into the 110s and it's March. There we go. Enthusiasm is contagious. That's a good thing to be contagious. All right. Well, thank you all for being here. Hopefully, I mean, I had a lot of fun. I hope you had fun too. If you stayed here till the end, I'm assuming that you did. So let's see. I don't have like calls to action, like sign up for my newsletter. I don't have a thing. So anyway, yeah, thanks for being here. Hope you have a safe, happy, healthy, fun rest of your day. Definitely check out my Rodecaster Core video tomorrow to get to the core of the issue. I'll play my minute outro so everyone can say goodbye. I'll see you next time.